Yo, I want to chill right now.
You're disrespecting me in a public forum right now. You realize that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want that to be the goal of the podcast, for somebody to let go of their worries in the world and listen to us.
This is my new look, Daddy David. Daddy David.
Born to procreate. Born to procreate. Yeah, that better make it in the intro.
Nah, probably not.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to episode 78 of the Unboxing Life podcast.
Hey.
H boys.
You are extremely lit.
Very lit. I am your host, Amo, and I'm joined by my classic boys. I'm joined by Dave Vision.
What is going on, everybody?
What is going on? Right back, Dave Vision. I'm joined by Treasure.
Otherwise
Coon.
known as Lights On.
Lights on. He
there's no
plays
lights
video
off
games
in
with
this
those lights on.
Uh-huh.
Last but not least, last but not least is the only line that anyone ever uses for introducing the last person. I got the boy, CB Lays. What is up?
It is me. My name's Cameron. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good day.
Yeah, what's
Yes,
up,
we-
35%?
We're having a great day. And before we get into traditions, Cameron has... Okay, Trevor needs to chill. We got a review. Oh, yeah, we got to read today.
do.
We were not joking, ladies and gentlemen. If you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, it will be read on Variety Box. Or if it is related to whatever you want it to be read on, we might read it on there. But most likely Variety Box. And so here we are. And so I have a
Who does
review.
this come from? Who does this come from, Cameron?
And it's gonna seem like a fucking bit to anyone who has no clue what's going on, and it's gonna seem made up. Thanks for that. But she knows who she is. This is a review from Cam's
Shout out to
biggest
Meg.
fan. And it's not my mom, so don't say that. God damn it. It's a friend of mine who I won't specify unless she wants her name read, and I'll read it next time if she wants. But anyway, she says on Apple Podcasts, she rated us 5 stars and said, "Good work, boys. Keep it up for real. Also, Cam really got it going on. That monotone voice gets me every time." And she had three little emojis she posted after that. So, yeah.
Dang.
Thank you for the review. We appreciate
Yes.
it. We appreciate
Yes.
the constructive compliments, as it were.
Mhm.
And we all will keep it up. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it. Very
Especially the monotone. We will keep it up.
Yes.
Yeah, we would definitely keep up the monotone. That's for damn sure.
cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, so getting into traditions, I want to hear. I want to hear the fact first.
Dang.
Ooh,
Straight back
dang.
to you, boy. Giving me too much radio time in a row. You are having a time of your life over there, Trevor.
Yeah, these Sweetwater Oasis, no ad by the way, are trash. So I'm having to produce my own pleasure by moaning. You know, when I drink them.
Goodness
Dang.
gracious.
Getting high off the moans.
Well, I'm really not finding a segue off of that, so I'm gonna just start my fact.
You're gonna have your sweet fact of the week.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an oasis of knowledge.
I thought we weren't sponsored by them.
We are not. Suck my dick, Sweetwater. Produce better content, you fucking bastards.
Anywho,
Rate us 5 stars too.
yes,
Yes.
if you are on whatever platform you are listening on,
If you
definitely
are
leave
an
us
ad
feedback.
company, your ad can go right here.
Shut the fuck up, head ass. Oh my god.
Ads don't work.
Yes. Anyone currently listening, whatever feedback you want to leave us, we will massively appreciate it on whatever platform you're on. So there you go. The fact of the week.
Before you get in your fun fact,
God damn
did
it.
you wait before that? Wait,
I'm gonna
have
murder
y'all,
you.
have
I'm
y'all
gonna
ever watched-
fucking
have y'all ever,
hang
like,
you up
driven
by
down
your
the street?
ankles over a river
but-
and like.
Have
just-
y'all ever driven down the street and looked at those like benches
Yes.
that are just on the like
Mhm.
just on a sidewalk and it's like you're the reason that these ads work. Place
Mhm.
them here. Call 1-877
Yeah.
suck this dick. Like no.
It's
Yeah.
so extremely Florida. It's incredible.
Dang.
That doesn't
Yeah.
exist a lot of other places. It exists largely in Florida, and it's fucking
I'm
hilarious.
pressing X to doubt. Where's my X button?
Yeah. It exists wherever ad companies need to squeeze ad revenue from.
I mean, maybe it was my experience in Miami, which is a major city, versus suburban Massachusetts. But I go into Boston regularly. I don't see that kind of shit. So it's
So two different locations in the U.S. It doesn't exist only in Florida.
I've never seen
Anyways,
anyone else
anyways,
talk
anyways.
about it, though, is the point.
Anyways, yes, they exist everywhere. I promise you.
Dang. It does have big Florida energy, I will admit that. But
True.
I'm not mad at that.
The fact that half of the billboards in Florida are for fucking accident attorneys is all the information you need to know.
Well, the fact that you said the fact, that means that is your fact. So moving on. No.
Ooh, I love it, Alex. I love the spice. Yo, just pouring that adobo on him, huh?
Adobo. God dang.
Para.
Little sazon.
Por favor, cállate. In 1947,
Shut the fuck up.
In 1947, as a prank, mountain climber Ross Pietre, which I just mispronounced, once climbed Oregon's Mount Hood, an over 11,000 foot tall mountain. Are you good?
Mount Hood is. He's laughing at Mount Hood.
What just
Come on,
happened?
dog. That's funny, bro. That's funny, man.
It's a fact.
What? I'm not even
fact
to,
that's
this
funny.
poor
to
fact.
anything I was saying. What is happening?
No, that's the fact that's funny. Keep going.
Okay.
Ross Pietre once climbed Oregon's Mount Hood, an over 11,000 foot tall mountain. Why are you dying? Oh my goodness. In the
I'm
middle
doing my
of the
best to
night,
be inaudible when I laugh.
and surreptitiously left a morning newspaper and a quart of milk for his friends who were spending the night on the summit.
Oh, that's a wholesome.
So they were
prank.
camping out, and he just left a newspaper and a quart of milk. So, like, back in 47, the milkman came every week, and the newspaper came every day. And so, like, just they were on top of an 11,000 foot mountain, and this guy was like, you know what would be fucking funny? Is if I just left at their proverbial doorstep, as it were. The normal thing they would get is if they were in their houses. So
That's pretty good.
I cannot believe milkmans were a thing.
Yeah,
Milkman.
Yeah.
Milkmans.
Whose milk
Man's
mans is this?
I would literally open the door like, whose man's is this? Like, give me my fucking milk, pussy.
Yeah. Hey, but Ross Petrie, you sound like a cool guy, man. So shout out to you.
Why are you abusing
For
your
sure.
milkman? He's delivering you milk. He's providing you a service. Why are you calling him motherfucker or whatever you said?
Motherfucker,
Call
so
him a
he's the
pussy,
MILF
not a
man?
motherfucker.
He said
milk man. Whoa,
We gotta move on.
dang.
We're never gonna get out of traditions. Jesus fuck.
it's the best episode ever.
Dang. That is too
Yeah.
much.
Maybe the best intro ever. I don't know. All right, I'm
It
going
might be.
to go directly into the quote, man. I'm putting you on the spot. Let's hear
Oh
it.
god. All right. Well,
Okay.
I'm not used to going so early, so
You're
halfway through.
flustered. Yeah.
So your quote is that you don't have a quote?
Yeah,
Oh,
no. I was looking at Independence Day quotes. Happy Independence Day to everybody out there who
Oh, yeah.
will be
Shit.
celebrating this like 2 days after this comes out.
Yeah,
we are
dang.
actually recording on 4th of July, so happy
Oh.
Independence Day to you
Dang.
guys.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really find a quote that kind of inspired me because every time I look at those kind of quotes, I think of systematic racism and I go down a spiral mentally. So
Dang.
this is going to be a lighthearted quote by the gentleman known as West Side Gun. And it goes, boom, 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 boom. So
Dang.
if you enjoy fireworks in any capacity, I hope you enjoy that quote because it's going to go boom, 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 all in the sky. So
That is definitely what's been going on. I love
Yep.
that. Yeah. Been freaking 2 weeks in my freaking neighborhood. Get goddamn dirt
Literally.
road.
dude, it is like there's like a fucking hurricane impending doom in like a week, in like a day and a half, and these dudes are just going boom, 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 like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
for
raining.
sure.
It's raining. Put the
Excessively
fucking
Florida.
fireworks down.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
It's
it.
happening.
yeah.
I feel like they're
I'm not-
lighting them inside and then running outside with a Roman candle and be like, boop, boop, boop. Like,
Yeah,
Gotta get
Or
it.
just
yeah.
an umbrella or some shit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really
yo,
understand
imagine
the people
lighting a
that get hyped
firework
early.
with an umbrella. That's fucking wild.
Goodness
Imagine
gracious.
it catches the umbrella though. Holy shit. You're done
Yeah.
for. You're donezo, kid.
True.
Damn.
Honestly.
Exquisite conversation. What
Yep,
is our
dope.
next tradition?
It's the track of the week, baby.
Dang!
Okay, guys. Well, my track of the week is "Dead End" by Chon.
It's
Oh?
not the.
Whoa!
It's not the-
Whoa! Whoa! Holy shit!
I was waiting
Holy
for it.
shit!
Yes, so I was actually the last episode we recorded. I just got back into town for my little trip, and after we recorded, I got what some might call a migraine. And so
what some might call.
yeah, it was a bad headache. I was dizzy. And I ended up throwing up. It was not a good time.
Dang.
But what
Alright.
yeah, but how this leads into Chon is I was laying on my couch, trying not to have my head spin, and waiting for some medicine to take effect. And I remembered Trevor on our top 10 albums going, this album is like comfort food to me. So I was like, you know what, man, I should check this out and just try to relax and just try to feel somewhat nicer with this. And that's what I did. And I enjoyed my first listen, all I've had so far. And Dead End was one I liked a lot on first listen, and there's that, yeah. So
I'm so glad that that's the first thing you thought of, like musical medicine. That warms my soul, man. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it.
Dope.
dang,
That's
yeah,
dope, man. That was full like actual real reaction. We didn't talk about this at all, so that was super dope, bro.
yeah. I'm
I'm
glad
glad
you.
you enjoyed it.
I'm glad you recommended it and talked
No,
about it. Yeah.
that album is something else. So I'm glad
Mhm.
you had a little bit of an ounce of enjoyment, and I hope you feel better.
Yeah, I'm feeling better now. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. It was a
Good.
whole thing, though.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Mm.
That makes me happy.
True. Glad to have you feeling better. And I guess I played myself because now I'm last. So
Dang. But not
So-
least.
that that is true. But I guess my joke is a little bit of a fact.
Ooh.
Oh,
Did you guys know that the first French fries weren't actually cooked in France?
oh.
Like-
They were cooked in Greece.
Dang. I like that one. Simple.
Yo, my
Play.
dumbass thought that you were telling a fun fact.
They're actually called freedom fries.
That's true. Get some freedom fries on the 4th, everybody.
I
There you
like
go.
that. Though. That was a good joke.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That
That's
was
good.
really good.
Yeah. So on a little bit of well, I guess going back to that night, when I was feeling better, I watched the episode without me.
Oh, wow, bars.
Didn't
Does
even
it look
mean
like
to
a
say
job
that.
for you?
Didn't even. Yeah, it did. That didn't mean that, but that freaking segment had me cracking the frick up. That was hilarious. Thank
I'm
you very
glad.
much for that dedication.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it was dope. I enjoyed the episode quite a bit. I haven't seen Fast 9 or even the past few Fast and Furiouses, but I felt like I could get a good sense of how
Same,
over the
brother.
top and crazy it was. And Cameron was like that vessel for me who hadn't seen it, so it was like you guys explaining it to him was like explaining it to the audience, and it was a lot of fun. It was crazy watching it. Just watching the show as a fan instead of being on it. And
So,
Yeah.
like, what did you go into it like with the mindset that you go into other podcasts, or did you go into it with like a critic mindset? Like, did you go into it thinking that you were going to enjoy it and you just wanted to enjoy it, or like that you wanted to kind of pick it apart? Because I kind of did both when I first watched it, but then like 5 minutes into it, you guys were pulling the same dynamic that we normally do without me. So it was like really easy for me to listen to. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was pretty much like I had, it was like in the back of my mind. I was like, okay, how's it gonna be? Just whatever. Oh, geez, the dynamic might change a little bit. Obviously when someone is missing, but so I was just thinking of that and like, but I was pretty confident it was gonna turn out well, and it was really easy to listen to. Yeah, just kind of just chilled out with it, and yeah, it was nice. Yeah, I don't know. Not much. I guess it was a chill experience and very weird every time. It was almost a new sensation of like getting a peek into a conversation sort of about you without you in it, and that was a
Right.
weird feeling. Yeah, so like that was a lot of fun. But
I'd have to imagine that it's similar to the people that we mention on this podcast, like being Rocio or Jordan or whoever have you that we
yeah,
mention regularly, where they're listening to it and then their ears peek up and like, oh, this is my name. Like, what the
yeah,
fuck are they
yeah.
gonna say?
Right,
Like
yeah,
I would assume that's the same feeling.
hmm
Being a podcast host and then having the first 10 minutes be about you and you're not even there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah, it was a weird feeling, but a lot of fun. So you guys definitely killed
I'm
it.
glad you enjoyed
Yeah,
it though.
yeah. I was not missing my presence at all. I thought it was dope. So yeah.
I definitely
Well,
was.
Yeah, we were.
appreciate
That's how
appreciate
this
it.
podcast, and Cameron is like fucking hiding behind his mic, and it's really weirding me the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm just leaning back. Sorry.
All right, we'll stop that.
No.
Dang.
But like the reason why this podcast is so successful for me, and the reason why I keep not to be like too on the nose about it, but the reason why I keep coming back every week is because of us four. Like this dynamic works because we're such good friends, and I don't know. I feel like if one of us were to go missing, it wouldn't have the same flavor, and we wouldn't be unboxing life. It'd be a completely different podcast. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
I
glad that
definitely. Yeah,
I'm glad that we assemble every week. Is all I'm trying to say.
I did miss being on it in that sense. I was like, dang, it's fun. I wish I was there in that way, but
Right. And it's never
yeah,
something that you want to do, right? Like we try everything. We even were trying, Saturday when Cameron was feeling awful. We tried everything in our power to get it to where we could swing it to be all four of us, but it just wasn't in the cards.
mhm,
So,
yeah,
it was the same when I was moving and I had to miss that episode. But you
yeah,
just
yeah,
have faith in your boys that they're going to pull through, and they will, because there's four of us. So for the one episode, we can carry the dynamic. But I think it
Mhm.
would show after a couple if we were gone.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
one
We
one.
definitely want to. I fully agree that the four of us is the ideal. It's it works a lot. It works very well. Yeah. So
Right. Which is why we're recording our second episode at 1:30 in the morning, because we don't
that's
want
what
to
we
have
do.
our scheduling up to chance. We want to
Yeah.
try and record as much as possible while we're all here.
Yeah, that's what we do. So yeah.
Mm.
How's everybody feeling? What do you want to talk about? Anything going on?
Nothing too much crazy. I'm house sitting with Rocio. She asked me to be a wingman and help take care of this dog, and this
Yeah.
dog is super playful, but very malicious with her cat, and her cat is 15 months old, I want to say, and it's like the smallest cat, like adult cat I've ever seen in my life. It's like this big,
Dang.
and it's like super skinny, super small, really sweet, but the dog is a puppy as well, and she just wants to play the whole time, and we have to segregate them in separate like halves of the house, and the dog will literally scratch at the fucking window just wanting to play with the cat, but the second we like allow them to be in the same room, the dog is just going to decapitate the cat. So we just like kind of, let it be alone.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Dang.
been my weekend.
Yeah. Sounds like a handful. Speaking of
How-
cats and dogs,
Oh,
it's about to be, well, actually, it is raining cats and dogs in freaking Florida right now. It's about to be a freaking hurricane,
yep.
beginning of hurricane season. So that's been
We
a lot
got
of fun.
frozen here, right? For is it Hurricane Elsa? Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah. Dang. Okay. Yeah.
Category
I didn't even know
1.
that.
Might be in
Frozen.
category 2. I haven't looked at it in a couple days, but
Yeah. I was driving back here from the other town I was in. And there's a certain road that goes through a large natural wooded area, and freaking this sky was just insane. I was like, I don't even think I had heard about it really, and I just saw like this freaking. Obviously, it wasn't the hurricane itself, but I was like, something's going on. This freaking like the clouds are moving super fast. There's this super like dark, almost like black clouds in the sky. It was quite ominous, but luckily I didn't get caught up in it too much. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, we've been pretty lucky not to be affected too majorly these past few years. I mean, the hurricane season is just starting up. I do hope that this year will be easy on the Caribbean and all those islands because they just keep getting decked. So,
absolutely, yeah.
Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Cuba, everyone.
right.
Serious. Yeah.
So I would like to see in the story arc of hurricanes to not attack as much. They can take a hiatus for a few seasons, I think.
That is
Right.
true.
And that's a great point. There's like a couple memes that'll be shared like, oh, there's a hurricane incoming. Oh, it's like a category 4, and then like there'll be memes of, oh, where is it? Where the fuck is it? It's not gonna hit us. Like, it's literally destroying lives as we see it live, and yet we're so privileged that we're allowed to share these memes, really desensitized to the world, where people are literally losing their way of lives, like by this storm that is not going to quote unquote affect us, but it's still affecting other people in the world. So
Yeah.
just think twice before you share these stupid fucking memes about a storm not hitting you, because it's affecting other people.
Yeah, I'm definitely. We've talked a few times about like I'm pretty permissive on like make jokes about whatever, and I still you can make jokes about the hurricane, but also I always hated this stuff because in Florida you hear it a lot because we're past the Caribbean, we're past a lot of the islands, and hurricanes hit us, but we're not as affected, and they don't have all the resources to deal with it necessarily. So
Right.
I would you just always hear like, man, Floridians are out doing whatever, man. That's Floridians, and it's like, yeah, you have like a house to go back to. Like, stop acting like this isn't a big deal. Like, people are like get like dying, having their ways of life ruined, like you said. Like, just it's don't like at least don't make a joke out of complete ignorance for the situation going on.
Right.
Like,
Right, especially when it's going on.
yeah.
Like, just know the timing a little bit. Like, I don't want to be the joke police, but I don't know. It's just really insensitive.
It's a little bit of going overboard because it's a little bit of like being too optimistic going into a different direction. Because I know when these things come around, I get cautiously optimistic. Obviously, when we hear about it, it's a time where everybody starts getting prepared, and then there'll be times where I'll be like, maybe it's not going to hit us, and then and then if we're all right, we're all right, and we're grateful for it not to impact us in that way. But I think the line gets crossed when it's not hitting us. It's not a big deal. I mean, I don't have to be worried about it, but be sensitive of the fact that like we said, people's livelihoods are not the same reality for them wherever they are in the world.
You can be thankful that it didn't hit you too badly, but definitely at the same time recognize it hit other people badly, and just
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of this essay I read in, I think, my cultural geography class in college. It's super interesting. I probably can't even summarize all the points made in it. It was pretty long, like in this podcast, but it's called "There's No Such Thing as Natural Disasters," which is basically the thesis was kind of like we hear about natural disasters, or natural disasters are classified by an extreme weather event like affecting humans, and humans, like the circumstances of that are highly based on class and the country's circumstances and how the government deals with it. So I don't know, it's just a really interesting read. I recommend if you can find it for free, on just like how, like, they talked about Hurricane Katrina and controversy about how the resources were being used and the coverage of it. And it's an interesting aspect to consider, that like it's not just it hit and we did what we could. Sometimes it's like, how does a government respond to a disaster or prepare for it or whatever? But I don't know. It was interesting. I would recommend it. Anyway.
Oh, interesting point for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's where the meme of Kanye West was born, where I'm
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
positive that's when he said it, when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people on
yeah,
TV with Mike Myers.
yeah. yeah.
This
Yeah,
was during the relief response from Katrina when it hit New Orleans.
yeah. That meme is taken. I mean, that clip is taken so much out of context. I had no idea what he was talking about for the longest time when I saw that. So, yeah.
If you're like slightly educated in Kanye, you can kind of like gauge where that was in his career because he was
Mhm.
I haven't watched that video in quite a while, but if you look at his outfit, I'm almost positive he's wearing the double polo, which is like
Yeah,
that was his style from like the first like 3 years of his career. That he came
Yeah.
in wearing the two polos, you know, like the super nerdy dropout high school kid or college kid.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was his style, and
yeah,
he just wears it proudly, and I fucking love him for it. But
yeah. The early Kanye drip for sure. The old Kanye.
yep, you
Yeah,
gotta love iconic rappers that have eras of clothing that you can like. Same with Jay. You know, you can kind of pinpoint when it was happening, even if you don't have the time date itself. You can, but just by what they're wearing, you can kind of gauge when it was happening.
yeah. He's got the hair growing out now. You know, can 444. He was like,
Fucking beautiful hair.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always fun. Yeah.
Where you at, Cam? You dying?
I'm alive, but you guys are carrying the conversation. I don't have much to add right now. I feel
Dang,
like
that's
Brian.
true.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you'll have something to say whenever that hurricane misses us and hits you instead.
Yeah, that'll be
Oh, word.
interesting if it scrapes across. It's happened before. Hurricane Sandy
Yep.
did that to a high degree.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
2009.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
remember
do.
my neighbors getting trees ripped up out of their front yard and whatnot. So
Mhm.
Which is wild because like New York itself isn't really structured to have hurricane preparations, you know, for
no,
its like metropolis or whatever. So like a category 2 is devastating to New York because they don't have the proper infrastructure to
Right.
support a storm hitting like that like we do.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
my
a tropical storm will cause flooding up there. It's fucking wild.
yeah,
Yeah.
they there was a bit in the Division, the original one that took place in New York, in which they you have to go to reset the power to like a certain district, and you recruit the guy who ends up being like one of your home base dudes, and he makes a joke about like when he's trying to restart the power grid about like, oh, like, you know, Hurricane Sandy taught someone in acquisitions a lesson or whatever the fuck he says about like actually flood proofing and making shit work. And so like the fact like it hit New York and drenched it and took so much shit out that they made a bit about it in a video game about how they had to revamp all of their stuff.
Dang. Yeah. True.
It's just
Dang.
another one of those like written in blood kind of things where you don't really prepare for something until something happens, and then
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh wow, this has the capacity to happen. Let's
Yeah.
prepare for it.
That's why
Kinda go-
Yeah.
I judge people
Yeah.
from up here who are like, oh, you know, South Carolina got an inch of snow for the first time in 30 years, and people are freaking out. It's like, yeah, an
You're
inch of
stupid.
snow makes the road slick. Like we're very used to it, and people drive super slow and like have an idea. There was a funny like there would like northern Georgia got snow or something, and it was like guide to driving in the snow from Twitter, and then someone had tweeted like, you know, pretend that your grandma is in the back seat with a full pitcher of lemonade and a nice cake that she made on your way to Sunday service. And it's like, make sure you don't like go fast enough or do anything that you could hit a bump or whatever. And that, you know, grandma would be drenched in lemonade. And so it's like, yeah, people get on the South's case for like not knowing how to drive in snow, but like, of course you don't, because why would you?
Exactly.
And there's also no infrastructure for it. So
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
all goes down to the almighty dollar. What's worth spending money on?
True.
I guess.
And we spend
not-
millions of it up here because it happens every year.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily classify it as a dollar problem. More so, just it just doesn't happen. So why would you allocate those resources to it? But at the same
Exactly,
time,
that's what I'm
climate change,
saying.
so- Yeah, but that's not a problem of currency.
No,
Yeah.
I mean I'm saying, you know.
That's just a problem of where we are, and if it happens, it's incredibly irregular. So I don't think that's a misallocation of resources more so than
Mm.
we just don't prepare for it because it doesn't happen normally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess kind of going back to, since we're on the topic of like hurricanes and stuff. I remember a few years back when maybe 2016 or somewhere around that time frame, and there was a few hurricanes that year, and we didn't really get hit. Maybe the power went out for a couple of days or something like that. But I remember the Keys got really hard, got really hard, got hit really hard.
Dang.
Oh my!
Hey yo.
Oh my! You fucked up when Alex is like, oh my.
Anyway, you were
Okay,
saying.
yeah, yeah. So my church was organizing volunteers to go to the Keys. So I pretty much got sent, or I volunteered to get sent to the Keys. We drove down there, and we pretty much set up tents in like this campsite that they let us use, and pretty much we spent like the weekend there, and the goal of the weekend was just you'd wake up, you'd eat breakfast, and then you'd work half the day, eat lunch, and then work the other half of the day and eat dinner. But it's pretty much just going block like down streets and just like helping whoever. And it's like these people needed help, so we'd spend time at this house. And I remember there was one house in particular, and it was a 2-story. It was weird since it's like the Keys. It's more beach style houses, a lot of it, and this house was on stilts.
Yeah, I was just about to say it. I'm like, yeah, he's probably on stilts, huh?
Yeah, and so these people, their home was pretty much destroyed. Like it was still there, but the insulation from like the roof was busted, and the insulation from the attic was all over the room, like all over the entire house.
That's
Mm.
terrible.
And so they couldn't salvage their house. It was they something, I don't know, on the insurance end. I don't know what happened there, but they had to just pretty much salvage whatever they could and clean it up so that it would be demolished basically.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude, the stench in that place, man. You just open the door, wet insulation it's moldy, it's stinky, and we just went in there with bags and they're filling up trash bags and just trying to get everything out that you could.
Were you barehanding insulation?
No, we had gloves and
Okay,
stuff.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
'cause
gonna
that's the thing
yeah.
about that
we were
insulation,
prepared.
that pink cotton candy looking stuff, right? Is it's full of fiberglass, and so like shards of fiberglass, so you can fuck yourself up real bad if you barehand, that insulation.
Absolutely not.
So, yeah.
But
Life lessons with the Unboxing
Pussy.
Life podcast. That shit'll mess you up. So don't mess with insulation. Don't just like take that shit lightly because it's tough stuff.
Mhm.
I just remember it was like one of the first times like seeing firsthand, like, damn, like I'm here with these people, and even I don't have to go through it, but they're going through it right now. Like that's their reality. They're working with their insurance company. They're working with
Yeah.
whatever they got to work with, and they got to find a new means of living. And I mean, I'm doing the best I can to help on the assignment that I'm doing, but
Yeah.
it is reality for a lot of people. And when these storms hit, then they hit. You can't. There's only so much you could do to prepare. You could get all your resources out in order, but if it takes out your house, it takes out your house, and then you have to figure out how to move on after that. And that's a reality a lot of people have to face with these storms, and it's crazy to see it firsthand. I've been on more trips after that. I haven't been out since like 2018 because we haven't really had anything major that we could drive to necessarily. Yeah, for sure. But whenever they do come up, I always look forward to going in a way because I get to help out, and I get to see firsthand, like, damn, this is what I mean. It could very well happen in our area.
Yeah.
So
And it does, I mean,
That's
it's not that it doesn't happen because like in the mid '90s, I'm almost positive Hurricane Andrew. I'm pretty sure that was the devastating storm of Florida, like category 3 or 4 that just fucking ravaged, South Florida or mid Florida, wherever it actually, landed on us. So it will happen eventually. It's all things come around eventually, but that's just the risk that you take with buying a home in a hurricane centric area. You just run the risk of losing your
Hmm.
fucking property 1 year. It's
Right.
just how it goes, man.
Right. It's just, yeah. And I mean, there's no real. I mean, it seems like a lot of places you go will have different issues. You go up north, you deal with blizzards. You go west, you deal with tornadoes. Can you
Yep.
imagine? Like they're equipped for that, just as we're equipped for hurricanes. And I mean,
Right.
they have whole safe rooms and stuff. And
And
even more
tornadoes are even
recent.
more spontaneous than hurricanes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hurricanes at least give you a week warning.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got wildfires and stuff that happens, and yeah.
That was you brought up, that was one of the cool things to me about learning about, ancient man and anthropology and stuff like that, is like how people used to attribute things to the gods and like stuff like that. Is like, you say we have a week warning for hurricanes. Like, imagine you're just like tooting around your village of like 500 people or so, and some asshole did something that you believe is against your gods, and then like 1 day later, fucking a Cat 5 hurricane rolls in. Like, what would you think about your reality of like that apparent cause and effect of like
No,
of thinking you angered the gods, and then like a Cat 5 hurricane, something you have zero explanation for except for the fact that
Mhm.
like it just happened. It Now we know, downforce, like global winds, it has to do with like the axes of the earth and like all this. Like, it can only happen at certain latitudes and certain
Mhm.
temperatures, at certain pressures, at certain humidities. It's like, it's all this stuff that we know
They're doing something with
with
the
the weather. Back then, it was just like, this is just happening to you. Like, this
Yeah.
showed
Yeah.
up with nothing, and you have like, your houses are made of sticks and like maybe
Yeah.
stone if you're lucky. Like, you got a cave nearby if you're lucky.
That's why mythology, if to my like really surface level knowledge of it, existed, was to explain the unexplainable.
Mhm.
So
Not even that. Yeah.
until we
I'm
were
sorry.
no, it's fine. It's just until we were able to measure exactly what the fuck was happening. Just
Mhm.
attribute it to unseeable things like gods. So
Yeah.
Yep.
I've often wondered as well about Native Americans living in Florida, those native tribes. Like, what did they do in these instances? Because I'm sure it's happened where a hurricane or tropical storm or what have you has rolled through whatever part of Florida at whatever time in history, and you just have these tribes, and they're just like, what do they do? They're just like, what the frick
Yeah,
is
dude.
this?
If they
they
existed
spent
down
six
here,
turns and built a dam.
yeah, if they existed down here for like
Damn,
decades at a
for a
time,
tropical storm.
if they existed down here or down here, I said down in Florida for like decades at a time, then they would have had to have experienced like multiple hurricanes, right?
Mhm.
Oh
So
yeah, not multiple, like
they
hundreds.
probably had some sort of a plan. They probably had some sort of story or a place to go. I mean, they largely, traveled, and they were good at reading the weather. But like I said, like
Yeah.
a hurricane just shows up like that can present as a storm for a day, and then it's a hurricane, like, for a fact,
Mhm.
if it just happens to you.
Yeah.
Um,
You know.
but they must have had, contingencies,
Mm-hmm.
like actual, like, this is what we do in case. And I know for a fact that like a lot of food storage was already built to be like underground and stuff like that. And that's an interesting thing about alcohol, is that like it was accidentally invented all over the place. So it was probably a ground storage. Like, alcohol in the Americas could have been invented in Florida when some crazy rainstorm came through and people had to abandon their village, and then they come back to their grape storage like 5-10 years later, and it's full of water, and it's fermented into alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like some random Indian village like 15,000 years ago could have been the site of the creation of alcohol in North America.
Yeah, but what I want to know is like, who comes back to that and says,
Let's
I
drink
think
it.
I want to drink it? Yeah.
Right.
That's
what does this
the
say?
ultimate question, right? That's the
Man.
ultimate question.
That's the thing.
It's
every
so
time
good.
I look, like every time I walk outside, I'm just like, is that poison ivy? I'm just like, how many times has someone had to like voluntarily touch a bush to be
Yeah.
like, oh, this particular thorn with this amount of this amount of leaves. This is poison ivy. This is gonna fuck me up for about 4 days.
Yeah,
like,
that
Shout out
was
to everyone. Shout out to every one of y'all. Honestly,
Probably,
Shout out.
probably hella people died from eating like mushrooms and nuts and like flowers and like dealing with snakes they've never seen and like all sorts of shit. Like they had to pass down knowledge, and that's what makes humans the superior predator, is just our storage of information, like knowing everything about everything because we told each other, as opposed to like actually having any sort of physical advantage.
yeah. The fact that we're we're the apex predator of the world, and yet we're still so fragile as a species is just mind blowing to me.
We're
'Cause we can
information
make tools,
based.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, tools, weaponry, yeah, for sure. That's the reason why we are. But it's still, it's ironic when you think about it, because we can still be easily torn to pieces.
Yeah.
For sure. But with the right
we're-
tools, we're unstoppable against any animal.
Yeah, man. Get the big
All you need is
brain.
All you need is a gat in the wilderness. You just boom.
All you need is a gat.
Yeah.
You don't even need to shoot the animal. You just shoot it in the air. They're fucking gone.
Well, that's why it's always crazy for me to think about, like, there's a lot of human, like, societies and tribes and just different groups of people that are still, like, kind of lower on the totem pole, like, like places that are,
More
just, like,
susceptible to attack from animals.
yeah, like even with guns, they're a lot of guns can't deal with like elephants or like really massive bears. Like you have to get certain ones. So like when you see examples of that like coming into play, it's just like, yeah, this like village of people was not gonna freaking deal with this elephant that was enraged in any type of way. So we just had to like run from it. It's just kind of crazy. Like the world is amazing and beautiful, and there's so many balanced things about it. And part of that is just like it will try to freaking kill you a lot of the freaking time, which is
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
The world is fucking absolutely brutal, to your point.
yeah, it's nuts. It is nuts. And
Beautifully
thankfully,
brutal.
you got to be thankful for not necessarily having to deal with that like a lot of our ancestors did as well.
And that is why you got to respect nature.
Yeah, for sure.
Always respect nature.
Mm-hmm.
I stay on the sidewalks. I don't walk in the grass. I don't fuck with snakes. I don't fuck with none of that.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Wow.
For sure.
Yeah. Do you guys ever think
walking
about
in the grass, living on the edge?
You guys ever try to picture, I mean, specifically North America, just like the vast untouched wilderness, like the fact that no cities ever existed here until they were built, and like the landscape of North America as like we spend so much and pave so many roads and cities and parking lots and like sidewalks and all that stuff, and it used to be just freaking earth. It was just land and plants and animals.
Yeah, I think that
You
can
said
literally be
land,
said.
Implants and animals.
Land, implants, and animals.
Land implants.
Which I guess, if you want to think about it, parking lots are implants on the earth.
Yeah,
If you want to think about it a little bit.
I think that could be said about literally anywhere on Earth. It's like,
but
this was nature.
I just think about like you roll up in a ship, and it's just like untouched wilderness as far as you can possibly see.
Dang, you know what makes me think about that is
You
when
don't see a single building or road or car or anything.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm driving down those long roads seemingly in the middle of long roads seemingly in the middle of nowhere, and it's just trees on side to side, I just sometimes I'll just be like, where this road is, if it wasn't for this road, the trees would just continue like it just looks like a perfect path of trees, but it's because this road is here. Like it would just be a forest.
I think I may have said that when I talked about it back when I came back from Miami and all the way back in December. But we drove back in the matter of 2 days, and I was thinking in like the last like 4 hours of that was through the north of Connecticut and the west of Massachusetts and everything, and so it was hella foggy the day we did it in mid-December or so, and I was thinking like in this amount of fog, in like if I was going from not even Miami, like say like Washington D.C. to Boston, Massachusetts, this would take me like 2 weeks in a carriage pulled by one horse with a like candlelight and there's like wolves, bears, foxes, coyotes, like everything just beyond the tree line. Like you could have like literally a black bear 12 feet to your left and you'd be completely exposed to it. Just you'd have no chance. It's like the gap in technology in only like so many years is crazy.
Right. I mean, at this point, we've made video games about those tribulations.
Right.
Yeah. Made. It's wild to think of.
Far Cry came immediately to mind.
Far Cry. I was thinking
Red Dead.
Oregon Trail. Yeah.
I was thinking Red Dead.
Yeah.
And it's
for sure.
it's kind of led to this generation or generations of humans who lack those kind of survival skills. So like I don't know, like there's like when I did watch Bear Grylls, like I would like as a kid I would throw on Bear Grylls and be like, yo, this guy is nuts for going out in the wilderness, bro. Like I'm just like, yo, could you imagine? Like, but like realistically, since we're not put in those situations, would you know how to survive like straight up and you're just thrown in the middle of somewhere and you gotta like
no.
exactly.
Fuck.
I'm like
I'm a city slicker.
I would
Fuck
I would
you
get-
mean?
I would think I
get
could stand
eaten
half
alive,
a
but-
chance.
Where's the nearest
but-
Publix?
Yeah. Seriously.
No, did you see the meme? Like, I don't know if this is real or not, but like there was like a really funny meme going around when that show was still a thing, like Man vs. Wild, where it showed him just like, you know, down in the dirt and just like kind of doing his own army crawl and shit like that, and then like it would show he's literally like 500 feet from a fucking highway.
Oh, dang.
yeah,
I've never seen that. No.
Nah, I've seen that. That's funny.
Look
That
up
sounds
Bear
dumb
Grylls
funny, though.
like exposed or some shit like that, something stupid.
That's funny.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive that's how the entire series was filmed, but shout out to them for still trying
I
to
just remember
show those survival instincts.
Yeah.
a episode of that show where like they were like, we got to make it to the train tracks in a certain amount of days. Like they knew where they were and where they had to go, and like he gets to the like open field where you can see the train like a half a mile away, and it's like coming in the distance, and he like sprints to the train and jumps on like the open freight car as it drives by, and it's like, that's super real. Thanks.
Yeah.
It was.
I know a lot
I mean,
of
it was
people-
good TV. I still watched it. They still, like we said, the other
Yeah.
variety. They still got my fucking click through
But
rate.
we're like a mile away from our nearest watering hole, so we're gonna have to use our canteen to piss in and fucking drink it ourselves. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
bro.
I think people
well-
overblew the joke of like him drinking his own piss or whatever. But the show was genuinely interesting, even however
Yeah.
much you can rip on it.
Yeah, I think my take on it is a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is why he's a fraud. He's exposed for being a fraud." But I always found humor in the fact of me imagining him. He's like, "Yeah, he's crawling through," and then he's done filming, and he's like, "Fuck that shit. I'm Bear Grylls. I go where I'm going to sleep at a hotel." You know, like,
Yeah.
not only
Yeah.
that, but I mean, yeah, obviously it's fun as shit to rip on a show for, you know, portraying something and obviously not being, you know, as in the woods as it portrays it to be, but it still shows some genuine tips and, you know, survival tactics. So
for sure.
regardless of how it's actually filmed, I don't really give a shit. I think it's just funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
It is
At the end of the
funny.
day, it still shows some good shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Very true. Very true. Huh? Dang.
Well, this has turned out to be a very wild episode.
Oh,
there you go.
my boy, stay with the bars.
That's the one. Heck
Are we
yes.
gonna make this the shortest unboxing light podcast to date? It's
Is
we're
it?
at 48 minutes. Yeah.
48?
Yeah.
48. Wow.
I don't know. That sounds like it seemed like a decent length.
I'm pretty fine with it, honestly. I
Yeah.
think we did a
Mhm.
good episode. I want to say I enjoyed it.
I did too. I enjoyed being back in the action.
Super happy to have you back, my guy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up here, I just want to get you guys' general thoughts on what do you think about Brexit?
Okay, we are not going
I think
into
it's
that.
a little too late for me to be doing that, honestly.
Yes.
Damn. All right. I thought we were really gonna. I thought that was really gonna pop off. I thought that was, I was bringing
Yeah,
the goodness.
for sure. Yeah, it would have been fun.
All right. I guess we'll
the
just end
only
then.
thing I have to say on that is that every time I hear the phrase Brexit, I think of like some song on the GTA radio or some video game where the dude is saying flex it, and I always hear Brexit, and it's like some drill song. So I think they're just like rapping about Brexit in the UK. But,
Yeah.
Goodness. Anyway.
Honestly, I'm not caught up with what's happening with Brexit, so anything that you're gonna say is gonna fly right over me.
No, I said Brexit as a like point of contention because it's like so old and played out. That was supposed to be the joke, but now I'm kind of too far gone. So anyway, who wants to
fuck
take
that
us out?
Brexit shit.
Yeah,
I
shout out
think-
to
Shit is
So Far
played
Gone,
out.
the 2009 Aubrey Drake Graham mixtape.
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out. Yeah.
David.
Is he dropping this year?
He's supposedly dropping in October, so we'll see if he drops
Oh.
the following October when I'm dead. This is when he's gonna drop.
October's very own, man. That's,
Yes, but when
perfect.
he drops, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you we are doing a music box. I'm sorry, suck it up. It's not happening without having a review on this podcast.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
doing a review.
That's for sure.
Drake's album will not happen if it is not reviewed on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to get my sign off that we're doing a review before
Right,
he,
yeah,
he hits
he's
send.
gonna let us know ahead of time, and we're discussing it currently.
Yeah, we have close ties to Aubrey.
Yeah.
In talks.
Try to get it out there right after the album. Part of the rollout. Honestly, it's like the whole.
He gave
added
us
on.
a review copy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Of an album.
yeah, it's pretty cool so far. So
Tune into the Unboxing Life podcast to get the advanced review of the new Aubrey project for sure.
Super
Yeah.
excited for that when that drops, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point. Oh well,
yeah,
not gonna drop.
Goodness.
Well,
Anywho,
Has it been
Very
real,
cool.
everybody?
think you know what? I think it's been real. I think it has, in fact, indeed been real. So, thanks everybody for listening. This was a lot of fun. Enjoying the frick out of it and loving the conversation as I do. So, again, thank you very much for listening. Take care of yourself, as I'm sure these guys will also tell you. Fricking, I don't know, man. If you're out there in nature, drink something, man. Drink some pee, drink some water, drink some cactus juice. Have a good time.
At love.
You know. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, guys. But yeah, thanks for listening, and it's been real again.
Yep. You there. You listening to the podcast. I'm talking to you. Shout out to you if you made it this far.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had any thoughts on the episode, don't be afraid to share them with us. You could share them on our Instagram comments. You could share them in our YouTube comments. You could DM us if you want. Send us an email. I don't know.
Send us an email.
But just let us know what you thought of the episode, what you think of our show here, if you were entertained, if you were not entertained, if you had some thoughts of your own on the specific content. By all means, we're here for it. And I
Yes.
think with that, I will say, I love you all.
you know what? You listening to this right now, you are beautiful as a person. All right? That is a fact. And because you're so beautiful, you are going to do exactly what Alex said and find us at Unboxing Life Pod on Instagram and Twitter and r/Unboxing Life Podcast, and let us know what you feel about anything, likes and dislikes, 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. I think Pandora might have something. I think iHeartRadio might have something. I don't freaking know. Wherever you are, let us know how you feel. That being said, you're beautiful. Be kind to yourself, first and foremost, and also be kind to others. And above all, stay safe.
Stay safe, stay excellent. I wanted to also congratulate us on passing 2,000 plays on every platform besides YouTube. I think that's a very important milestone for us.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
and it's very important to acknowledge our achievements, especially given the fact that we are 11 days from our first official anniversary for this podcast. We
Dang.
will have, I don't know if it's like episode 82, 83, 84, whenever you're hearing it,
It'll be something.
we're probably gonna do some sort of acknowledgement on it. Maybe a special episode. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Brian. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a special guest that hasn't been on the show. Who knows?
Drake
Yeah, a little
Aubrey?
Drake action
coming through.
for our
Yep.
1 year anniversary. But
Goodness.
I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you. Not that you're listening. I'm talking to Amo, I'm talking to Dave Vision, and I'm talking to Cameron. Thank you guys for making this one of the better years of my life, in terms of just the fact that I can call this a normal process in my life is just it's wonderful. Like the fact that we're leaving this behind. We could not wake up tomorrow and we'll still live on forever. Obviously I want you guys to wake up tomorrow. I want us to live long and happy lives.
Is
but
that a threat?
is that a threat? Shout out to Alex. But I'm just really proud of us for making it an entire year doing this project, and here's to many fucking more, man. I enjoy it more, if not more, than when I first started, and I hope you guys can say the same.
Yeah, I'll say.
And yeah, that's all I really had to say. I love you guys. So thank you for allowing this podcast to be a thing, man. We've been talking about this for fucking years, and now we're already a year deep. So I'm proud of us. I'm really proud of us.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, with that being said, peace out, baby.